I want to bring down your fucking tyrannical system. I want to bring down your legitimacy, your justice system. It's bullshit. There is no justice system. It's a weaponized legal system.
Tommy Robinson's new remarks about Keir Starmer spark intense public debate. You're not going to believe how fast this escalated. Because while most people were busy scrolling through yesterday's headlines, something big, something loud was happening in the background. A new video from Tommy Robinson dropped online, and within minutes, the views shot up, the comments exploded, and the political atmosphere shifted again. People weren't reacting to the footage itself, they were reacting to what he said about Keir Starmer. And the way he said it, let's just say it sparked more debate than anyone expected. Let's break it down. It started as a casual live stream, the kind Tommy Robinson does often, talking directly to the camera, speaking to his base, using the same confrontational, rapid-fire tone he's known for. But halfway through, he pivoted. He took a breath, leaned closer, and brought up Keir Starmer. Not with accusations, not with claims, but with questions, pointed, emotional, politically loaded questions about the direction of the country and what he believes people aren't being told. The moment the clip surfaced on X, it hit the political arena like a punch thrown in a crowded room. Robinson said something along the lines of, "There's a growing gap between what people feel on the ground and what Starmer talks about in Parliament. Not an allegation, not an attack, but a challenge framed in a way that instantly triggered a national reaction. Within minutes, journalists were dissecting the line. Commentators were weighing in. Supporters and critics were already fighting in the quote tweets. For a few hours, Robinson had the spotlight, Starmer had the pressure, and the public had a brand new political storm to dive into. So what actually happened next? Keir Starmer didn't respond directly. He didn't issue a statement. He didn't jump into the conversation. But during a later Q&A session with reporters, someone asked him whether he was concerned about criticism coming from online personalities. Starmer paused, that long, deliberate pause he uses when he's choosing his words very, very carefully. Then he said, "Leadership means staying focused on what matters, delivering results, not engaging in online back and forth." On the surface, calm, measured, professional. But the timing, the phrasing, the look in his eyes, people knew exactly who the question was about. And social media picked up the moment instantly. One tweet read, "Starmer pretending this wasn't aimed at Tommy? Come on." Another wrote, "This is why the political divide keeps growing. People talk past each other instead of to each other." It wasn't just criticism. It wasn't just support. It was something deeper. A reflection of how emotionally charged the UK's political climate has become. The reactions weren't only online. A Labour insider reportedly said to a journalist late last night, "We expect these kinds of comments, but the timing is tricky. There's already a feeling of tension around public trust." On the opposite side, a Reform UK supporter wrote, "Tommy is speaking for the people who feel unheard. Whether you like him or not, he taps into something the mainstream avoids." And in the middle, as always, stood thousands of regular people trying to make sense of why moments like this keep blowing up. Why do certain statements ignite national discussions? Why do two figures who never appear together keep colliding in the political narrative? Why does the public seem more emotionally engaged in these debates than in official government announcements? The answer is simple and complicated at the same time. People don't just want political updates anymore. They want emotion, authenticity, someone who says what they feel, even when it's rough around the edges. And they also want leaders who seem stable, steady, focused. Robinson represents one side of that spectrum, Starmer the other. And whenever one of them comments about the country, the other's name seems to come up, even if indirectly. It's a strange political dance, but one that keeps repeating. Now, let's talk about the real impact of this moment. Robinson's new remarks didn't accuse Starmer of anything. They didn't present secret documents. They didn't claim hidden scandals. What they did was raise questions, emotional ones, political ones, ideological ones, about where Britain is heading under Starmer's leadership. And emotional questions always hit harder than technical ones. That's why the reaction was so intense. Because whether you agree with Robinson or disagree with him, What he said tapped into a very real sentiment spreading across the UK right now. A feeling of uncertainty. A feeling that big decisions are being made without the public fully understanding the direction. A feeling that politicians are speaking in rehearsed lines, while voters want something honest, raw, unfiltered. Even if they don't agree with the messenger. And that's the part nobody is talking about, yet the part that may matter most. So, where does this go from here? Will Starmer respond again? Probably not directly. That's not his style. Will Robinson push further? Quite likely. He always responds to momentum. Will the public keep discussing this? Absolutely, because this wasn't just about a comment. It was about the mood of the country. When moments like this hit, they reveal more than they hide. And the real question now is, if a single live-stream comment can spark this much debate, what happens when the next election moves closer? And every word, every reaction, every moment becomes amplified? Because if this is just the warm-up, Britain hasn't seen the real storm yet.